Joining us now on the Menard Studio Hotline, as he does each and every Wednesday, it is the manager of the Evansville Otters, Andy McCauley. And, Coach, I'll tell you what, you guys are on a heck of a roll here coming off that All-Star break. 7-game win streak after last night's 6-0 win over the Beach Bums. You're 37-18. Got a 2-game lead in the East. That record's the best in all of the Frontier League. What's been working so well for you guys here lately?
Well, it's the same recipe. It's been some quality starts out of our starters, giving us an opportunity to get the offense going and starting to swing the bats here in July. So, after the break, right before the break, we started swinging a lot better, and now it looks like a little rest has really helped some of our guys out, seeing the ball and getting their swing straight, and maybe just getting a little rest for the bodies, and really starting to swing it now pretty well.
Well, you guys had a nice roll going before the All-Star break. Do you, as a manager, ever have a concern like when you're on, you got that momentum going, and then all of a sudden, boom, there's a 4 or 5 day layoff for the All-Star break? Is there any concern about trying to get those guys back up and going once that All-Star break's all said and done?
No, not necessarily, and especially not with these guys. Even on our off days, I see 10 to 12 of them come to the field and just get some swings in, or just be out at Bossy running around or throwing. So the 4 day off, the break. Of course, we had 5 guys go to the All-Star game, so that's 1/5 of our team there was participating in it. But I saw quite a few guys swinging by the field and just staying sharp. So it wasn't really a concern knowing these guys, how hard they work, and I think we really needed the rest more than we needed to play. So I think it was a good time to get some days off for some of our guys.
Well, I think for you as a manager to know that those guys are coming in and working out on their days off without being prompted or suggested by you to do so, then you got to be doing it. Makes your job a lot easier, I would think.
Oh, certainly. I mean, the commitment of these players has been from day one. I mean, doing the extra work, the early work. Not just what I'm requiring, and it's pretty demanding spring training. But to see these guys come in and on their own time to get this work in, it is pretty rewarding too. But yeah, like I said all along, it's a good bunch of guys, a lot of character on this team, and a lot of chemistry. And it's just a good bunch of guys that enjoy playing together. So it's been fun. It's been fun, going to work every day, and not too bad when you get to go to Bossy Field on your off day and just run around and have fun too.
It's one of the big things about staying on top, Coach, is you got to have a bullpen. You got to have a bullpen, and Connor Little is a name that's starting to emerge a little more. He's one of those middle reliever guys, a bridge as they call them, to get it to the closer. So he doesn't get a whole lot of exposure. But between he and Edgar Lopez, that bullpen, if you're leading late in the game, you're not going to lose.
Yeah, it's been pretty lights out for us, those 2 guys in particular. Yeah, and unfortunately, Connor did not make the All-Star team, although he certainly deserved it. But like you said, that middle reliever just doesn't get the saves on that end of it, and doesn't get the wins and losses from a starter standpoint. So that bridge guy is not really a stat that you can follow. But just looking at his strikeout to walk and his ERA tells the story there. And that kid has gotten better every year I've had him. I saw him in Rockford his first year, and from that year to the following year, it was night and day. And then he spent some time in Australia pitching in winter ball and really figured some things out down under. And he came on and just really emerged as someone that we can really go to with a lot of confidence in that that 7th, 8th inning to get us to Edgar Lopez.
Well, the starting pitching is not too shabby either. So, I mean, I guess that would be a hats off to your pitching coach. But as they say in a lot of sports, defense wins championships. Undoubtedly, you've got to have a strong rotation, a strong bullpen when it gets deeper into the season and hopefully the playoffs and so on. But as a coach, you've got to be pretty happy with that pitching staff top to bottom right now.
No doubt, and you're absolutely right. Max Peterson has done an absolutely outstanding job, not just last year, but this year as well. And a lot of times I forget this is only his 2nd year. He was a player in the league 3 years ago, or actually in organization with the White Sox 3 years ago. So this is only his 2nd year as a pitching coach, and he's done an unbelievable job. His direction, his his organization, attention to detail, and communication is the big thing with him. So, those four qualities are hard to find, especially in a young coach, let alone, more experienced seasoned coach. But, no, he's certainly done a great job for us. But, definitely happy with the starters. There's no doubt about that. Looking to shore up a little bit of the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th pitcher in the bullpen, but definitely the 11th and 12th with Little and Lopez have been outstanding for us.
Talking to Evansville Otters manager Andy McCauley. It's Ford and O'Brien, ESPN Evansville 1053 online, ESPNEvansville.com. The Otters on a 7-game winning streak, getting ready for Game 2 of a 3-game series with the Traverse City Beach Bums up in Traverse City. You guys are, I think, 9-1 over the last 10 games. And let's talk about the game last night in regards and sticking with pitching. You got Will Oliver, who pitches a complete shutout, pitches all 9 innings, first time this season going more than 7 innings this year. When you as a manager are sitting there and you're watching a guy deal like Will was doing last night, is there any concern about pitch count? If the guy's playing well, do you let him go a little bit longer than maybe you would, or how much do you stick to the pitch count mentality?
Well, it goes. There was a lot of things that went into that. Number one, Connor Little threw 3 innings for us on Sunday to get a 3-inning save. We just didn't want to go to Edgar in that situation. So Connor really went above and beyond on Sunday for us. And we traveled on Monday. It wasn't a true day off. We traveled all day Monday. So to go to Connor, in that situation wasn't going to. Really wanted to avoid going to Connor or Edgar in that situation. His pitch count was low. He was below 100 going into the 8th. Otherwise, we would have went in a different direction. Plus, he had the shutout going. So it was a lot of things that went into that. He felt fine. He only had a 10-pitch 8th inning, which put him at about 108, 109 going into the 9th. And once you're at that point, you're looking at a complete game shutout. I think adrenaline takes over a little bit. But, as with all the guys, they do a very good job of conditioning and staying on their program. Their arms are certainly able to go more than what we usually allow. But, last night was kind of a special night for Will to get the complete game shutout against a team that was leading the division not too long ago. So it's a very good team, very good offensive team that he pitched against last night. And you got to tip your hat not just to the performance he had, but also wanting the ball in the 8th and 9th inning to give the bullpen a rest.
Well, who do you got taking the mound tonight, Coach?
Tonight will be Preston Olson. He's coming off the DL. He had a little bit of a blister that he got his last time out, so he was on the 7-day DL. But he's coming off the DL. He's healthy. His finger's fine. So looking for him to kind of match up with these guys pretty well too. Very similar, a 2-seam sinker in on the right-handers. Most of their power guys and bigger sticks in their lineup are right-handed. So hopefully he can bounce back off the DL and give us that kind of performance tonight.
Andy McCauley, manager for the Evansville Otters. Again, Game 2 of the 3-game series with Traverse City at Traverse City coming up later this evening. Coach, continued success. You guys are doing a hell of a job out there on the ball field, and we'll talk again next week.
All right. Really appreciate the time, Phil. It was good talking to you.